Yeah,
and
company I was with last week, we don't, you know what? We don't even talk revenue, right?
right.
Well, and and we're just looking at that gross margin level, whatever you're
Yeah.
like that is the top line of that business, and that number is a couple $100 million. Now, the actual quote revenue could be a billion, but we don't
Yeah,
pay
that's
any
right.
attention to that.
That's right.
It doesn't even exist in our financial reporting.
That's right. As a matter of fact, I've even recommended that we put a swear jar in the office, and every time you say the word revenue, you get charged $1, and you got to put it in the swear jar. We
Yeah,
only internally we should only talk margin in that process. Externally, yeah,
it makes you feel good. It's a great feel
soothe
good
your ego.
number, and
Yeah.
yeah, you
Yeah.
can talk to your fellow executives and entrepreneurs and
But
talk about how big that number is, but it's not
but one of the
necessarily.
things, as I've studied the data from our client set, I've moved to, since the first book, I talk about the concept of 10% is the new break even. Well,
Yeah.
that was 10% to revenue. And
Yes.
that works. That works for a good bit of the businesses. But in our continued research and then my Simple Numbers 2.0 book, I go in much greater detail. But I've really gravitated to looking at profit to gross margin as the true indicator that, as I said, puts everybody on an equal playing field. And my
Yep.
rule right now is I want to see minimum 15% profit to gross margin. Your target ought to be 20% profit to gross margin, and your stretch would be 25% profit to gross margin. And if you're above 25% profit to gross margin, there's two things at play. One is you've got a short-term gain in your competition, but the competition will beat you back to that 25% level, likely.
Uh
Or you are in a niche market that has no further room to grow. And so therefore now, and this is one of the errors that people, I love
hmm.
niches. I mean, there's riches and niches, as we've always said.
Yep. Yep.
But when you try to take a niche market and push it beyond its barriers, that's when you start giving profit back to the field, and you take a great 35% profit to gross margin business and make it a 15% profit gross margin business, because you're just wasting money trying to, oh, we can grow it.
Yep.
There's certain things that
Yep.
there's just a finite amount of demand, and there's
They're
only so
rare
many fish in the
businesses. They're
pond.
rare. We have a couple businesses that we work with that would be notably higher than that,
Yeah,
but there is inherent risk in the model where other people might not want to do it or understand it,
that's right.
and where it's not a niche. The niche ones are amazing, but
That's
we've
right.
got a couple, and they're very, very rare.